Okay, welcome back to Executive Assault 2, everyone. A couple notes. First off, this is going to be a shorter, I should say, tutorial video. If you've seen my last Executive Assault 2 video, which is also my last video posted before this, we played a match on a newer update, the UI update, and it was just taking a look at a lot of the new features in the beginning, followed by me bumbling my way through a match as usual. Managed to press some wrong buttons and screw my game up. Hopefully we can avoid that this time. The issue with that has been fixed. Blessed be. Praise the sun. But anyway, yeah, so I just want to do another tutorial kind of video. My previous industrial tutorial video actually has surpassed like 1,100 views now, which is insane to me, so thanks guys for that. I do apologize for my extended absence as of late. I just haven't had the very much motivation to record. I've had some real life personal issues going down, and it just killed my motivation to really do much of anything. But I've had some encouragement lately to get back onto the grind set of trying to record, and I'd like to. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in here. We're gonna go ahead and start while I keep talking. Other new things is I have a new mic now, so hopefully the audio quality on my voice sounds a little bit better, hopefully a little bit less pop. It was actually my birthday on like May 28th. It's been a couple days now, and someone was kind enough to give me a mic as a present. So I've got it's pretty decent. So first thing that you'll notice that's new, that has changed since the last time we saw, is there's Mr. Pointy the Pencil, who is here to tell us how to how to play the game. You can see he's telling me to go sit in my chair. We're not going to do that just yet. The other thing you can see is that if you look in the top right, we now have a mini map. That's right. The game has not functionally changed. Ooh, whoa. You're giving me a whole bunch of stuff to look at, but the game has not mechanically changed since the last time you saw. The UI update is still the big mechanical change, but there's been some quality of life things to do. Mr. Pointy the Pencil and the mini-map being one of those. So let's go ahead and sit in our chair. We are playing as Industrial Faction, and here we can see here's Mr. Pointy the Pencil, and he's going to tell me how to move around. He wants me to press the cog here, and then he's gonna tell me how to get started. Each faction has their unique way of building resources. It's gonna tell me how to do a lot of that. We're gonna go ahead and start building here. For some reason, I did host as multiplayer, so I can build the Executron factory or facility, even though nobody's gonna be joining. But let's just go ahead and get our normal. Oh, I goofed. Boom, easy. Get our normal kind of a setup going here if we can. Sure, whatever. Yeah, tech facility. Wow, really? Okay, fine. I can't believe I screwed that up. But anyway, so yep, Industrial Faction still works much the same as it did. We've got the mining terminal that we need to build to produce our asteroid ships. If you remember the quick look video, you can see that you know, we still got the divide here of how everything is kind of divvied up, as it were. Still quite nice and quite functional. Let's see, can we fit our ship factory anywhere? No. Nope. Trying to rename it there by accident. You know what? We'll just slot it in here for now. It doesn't really matter for this video. Build order matters slightly less than it used to now, just because of how things work. Now, the tutorial recommends that you build these excavators. I actually normally don't like doing that. But it is a good strategy for some early game resources. Also, again, this is not meant to be an in-depth strategy guide on how to win a match necessarily. This is just more going over the basics of how to start off your economy at the beginning of the game. So I guess in light of that, we will actually build one excavator. And if you remember again from my last video, a lot of the power has changed, and all of these menus now, when you open them up, Mr. Pointy will come up and tell you what they do and how to use them. So hopefully that'll make learning the game for a lot of you new folks out there a little bit easier. And once you're done learning with him, if you've decided that you've had enough, you know enough about the game, you can click the bugger off button down here, and he's going to say, oh, well, I'm glad you don't need me anymore. If you'd like some help again, you can switch my guidance back on in the options menu. Thanks again, and just so you are aware, I will remember this. I myself do not actually know yet what that means or if it's going to lead to something ominous, but I sure hope it does, because I think it would be hilarious if Mr. Pointy the Pencil showed up with a fleet to blow me up for my insolence of dismissing him. Now, first thing I like to do as Industrial when I load up is build a couple extra asteroid ships, because obviously you only start with the one, so we'll just come over here and we'll, queue up 2 or 3. You also want to go ahead and get your command outposts as quickly as you can, as usual. This is all standard practice stuff. As Industrial, you'll notice that your power in this setup specifically is a little bit reduced. I do recommend doing something like this when you first load in. Also, for all the factions, if you go to research, where's it at? Mining drone control is now a separately researched thing.
Completed.
Perhaps it is merely out of habit because I'm used to having it there, but I do like to research the mining
Not enough resources.
control and build it when I have the resources to. Come on. There we go. Thank you. I do like to build that. It's useful for gathering like a little bit of extra uranium in the beginning, just to fund yourself while you wait on your asteroid ships to build. Also, power. Remember, you can change it, how much uranium you consume here as your Industrial now. I believe I was Science in my original video, so you didn't see this, but Industrial, instead of the power cores, they can instead increase how much power that they produce in exchange for using their uranium faster, and thus also producing waste a little bit faster as well. So you do need to keep that in mind, and in fact, towards that end, we're going to go ahead and divert your asteroid ships over here to uranium asteroid. Now, one thing I do think is completely essential as Industrial, I consider this part of the tutorial, is that as you build your asteroid ships, you need to divert them. You need to want a couple on Energen, you want at least 1 on uranium, 1 on carbon, and 1 on metal by the end of it. And then from there, you can expand your economy however you like. There are a bunch of different strategies out there for doing that. Everything from outposts to just anything you really feel like. And don't forget, on this update, you can now build more than 2 outposts. You can buy new ones from the trader or capture them or whatever else. I think you can sometimes find them, although I can't remember for sure, to be honest, so don't quote me on that. I am going to go ahead and divert power into unit production, and I'm also going to increase our power output just to bring me back into the green. Go ahead and start building my stock back up. Now, this does mean that my fuel is going to start going down rather quickly, and I'm not confident this guy's going to dock in time, so I will just switch him over to uranium for now, just to give me a little bit of a boost. These are all basic mechanics that existed before the UI update for the most part, and so I would argue that much of your early game from that original video is relatively the same. However, some economy changes and power changes have been made, obviously. Also, as Industrial, your docking procedure used to be a 3-step process that took absolutely ages for your asteroid ships. Can confirm 110%. That has been reduced to 2, so you should notice that docking takes a little bit less time. I believe that for the most part, functionally, strategies have not changed. You do want, of course, want a goods factory at some point for your goods. You just really want all of these buildings on here at one point or another. I do normally hold off building the security control room until I absolutely need it, because until then it is a 2,000 Energen purchase that you could be spending on, guess what, more asteroid ships. And this guy is our 3rd one out. We're going to go ahead and divert him to carbon. Now, what has changed is your research and your promotions, or how you do research due to the promotion system coming about. So you can only get the improved mining and the mining drone control at first as your economy, whereas previously a very common tactic was to rush into titanium, into deep mining beam, and into the super mining ships. I actually very rarely find that I need the super mining ships. However, they can be convenient later on if you want to get rid of some of the larger asteroid ships and have less things to be targeted down by the enemy. Again, part of the tutorial, I would argue, rather than strategy, is that you're going to want obsidians and heavy cannons sooner rather than later, especially against science, because science is going to rapidly be able to get their level 2 lasers and shields, which will very rapidly outstrip anything your marauders can really do. And against Spy Faction, of course, they're going to have lightning weapons and other things that can deal with crowds easily. So obsidians with heavy cannons is almost a necessity as industrial. And so you do want, once you've built your mining ships initially, as you can see, most commonly what I do is I take the first outpost and I immediately deploy it in my system and build research on it just as quickly as I can. Research. I'm going to make the argument that is again part of the tutorial because, that just makes logical sense. You can also unlock these 2 extra power nodules through research in, what am I in, base tech? Yep, base tech. You do need the final promotion for the nuclear safety override, which allows you to give it was 120 power, 140, even better. And of course, I believe I did cover the promotions, but I'll cover them again briefly here. You earn points for actions in your game, so you need 100 points to unlock Tech 2, 300 points to unlock Tech 3, and 750 points to get your super ship as well as the extra resource buffs. You get 1 point for selling a good. You get 4 points for selling a luxury good, which you make with gold and unlock the luxury goods factory via the research. You get 2 points for ships destroyed, 30 points for capturing an outpost. Resource management is still much the same. I believe you did see it in the last video. You saw the galaxy map. So this tutorial video is more of an informant to tell you that a lot of your strategies have not exactly changed per se, more been refined. A lot of what you're going to be doing as industrial now is refining your specific economy method. A lot of people have one method that they use for their economy, and that is how they start their game. And that is very important because whatever you settle on, you want it to be something decent enough for you to justify using it on repeat. So for example, I can see now, normally I wouldn't be able to see this. I've turned off the fog of war, but I would be exploring early, and so if I get to Anoria and I see a system like this would be where I would send my second outpost. Again, this isn't necessarily setting you up to win a match at this point. This is just how you can get your basic economy rolling and really start playing and enjoying the game. Because I find that's what a lot of people complain about when they start playing this game, is that they feel it is a lot of work to get to a point of being able to enjoy the game. And I disagree. It is not as hard as it's made out to be. Unfortunately, just up until now, there hasn't been very many methods in which to figure that out other than pure trial and error. And for some people, that's just not their cup of tea. But now you have Mr. Pointy the Pencil to point you in the right direction. Haha, funny. And then between that and these videos that tell you how you can really get going fairly quickly, this will be a lot of help to some people. So you can see just by what I've been doing while I've been talking, 15 minutes in game time, and I've got a pretty solid economy going. I've got plenty of uranium. I've got some carbon coming in. I'm about to build my goods factory. And so all around, I think this does good. I do, me personally, like to build a second mining terminal.
Not enough resources
on my main base once you can afford it. Do not copy me on that necessarily, unless you just decide you like that strategy yourself, because I've seen many people claim that it is much better to fan out and pursue other systems, which, you know, they might be right. Again, not a strategy guide. I am by no means a master strategist at this game. However, I do have enough of an understanding of the basics to get you pointed in the right direction. And I think this is that right direction. For industrial, you want to be buying research data from the trader. You can afford a whole 2. It's fine. Extra research data is extra research data. So now I can come in here, go Space Tech, buy my obsidians.
Research completed. Research completed.
Buy my heavy cannons. Next, I buy my polarized graphene rounds for 1 extra research. Come on. That'll be there in a second, but you get the idea. And then from there, I can begin producing. I can put a ship factory down, maybe on this system, along with a research facility, or even on the Honoria outpost once it gets here and I deploy it. Let's see, this has been about a 15-minute recording. I could go much further in depth with this, I think, but that would start delving into the idea of a longer strategy video, and I don't really want to do that. This video is meant to draw attention to the fact that the industrial faction is much the same as it was. The other factions have had some new nuances added to them, I believe, particularly Spy faction. Simply because of the changes to their teleprobes, but I will get to that in a separate video. So for industrial faction, the best thing you want to do when you start the game is you want your executron facility. If they're enabled, you immediately want a mining terminal to get your large asteroid ships. You want obviously your nuclear power plant for power, your tech facility for research, and you want a small ship factory to build more asteroid ships. More asteroid ships are going to be crucial early game as industrial, because if you do not build them, science faction and spy faction will 110% outstrip you, and it does not matter how good your ships are, early game, late game, or whatever. If you simply don't have the economy to back it up, it will not matter. And obviously you want your trading port so that your trader can land and you can use them. Everything else, up to a certain point, is relatively optional, I feel, in the early game. Even your troop factory. Now, that does mean that you will need an excellent defense to ensure that a large army does not make its way into your base. And I typically build one anyway as a backup, because if you're facing a spy opponent, the teleprobes are especially good at sneaking in unnoticed, and suddenly there's an army. Mining drone control, completely optional. Again, the troop factory optional. Even the goods factory is technically optional, since you can deploy it on an outpost just as easily. This. And I build this second mining terminal myself, so that I can unload my ships a little bit faster. You can see my economy is already taking off. We are 18 minutes in, and as you can see, we're doing just fine. We're about to be hurting a little bit on power. Yep, there it is. I'm gonna go have and start collecting metal, because I hope to soon be into that. Now, because of the amount of fuel time we have here, it's very easy for us to simply go to plus 60, boom, back in the green. And so one ship focusing in on uranium is enough to support you in the early game for quite some time. As you can see, we are just now getting to the 20-minute mark. I have an outpost that I have not built on. Let me quickly remedy that. Normally you would want to be on top of buildings on this pretty quickly. Now, build that. And so this is what I would typically, I would say is normal in the beginning. One tech facility, one ship factory. Now, it would be tempting, I would say, to build a second ship factory here, and lose the tech facility. Actually, you know what? I can technically do that anyway, can't I? but then you can't increase your production. I like very much to play with the power on my outposts, particularly one for increasing your ship speed. I do recommend having an outpost dedicated to production for ships because you can put it to the maximum efficiency on two shipyards and still have some extra power left over to play with if you want. So I would actually argue that it might even be better to buy at this point, especially looking at this in my next trader, which is in about 5 minutes. My next step would probably be to buy a third outpost core if I can, set it up, disable but do not destroy this tech facility by clicking this power button, build my second ship factory there, do the power thing, and then set up another outpost in my home system, usually towards the back away from the warp points, and put research on that because obviously you want this one to be for mining. I am going to build a mining terminal on this and start harvesting these resources out here. There has been a couple changes. I know it didn't appear that they're in yet, but I know they're coming. There's going to be a thing to notify you of these whirlpools. So right now they're just kind of there. You don't know where it goes or what it does, but there will be an option here, I believe, like similar to these, that tell you where they go, what they lead to, that sort of thing. They'll be present on the tactical map. So just some good changes overall. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think there is. I think that pretty much covers it as far as your initial starting game as Industrial. A lot of it has remained the same with some minor changes as far as this faction is concerned. It's a very, very basic faction as far as your economy goes, which is just build building, build ship, go mine rock. So there you go. I think I'm going to call the video here before I ramble on for too long. But there are more coming. And since these videos will probably not be as monstrous as my previous tutorial videos for Industrial and Science, where I need to explain every little aspect of what's going on in the match or the game, I will actually be looking at getting more gameplay videos out. I'm not sure how they'll be split. Maybe I'll do uncut footage like I've been doing. Maybe I'll try to look at splitting it up into 2 or 3 20-minute episodes or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. These matches can take anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how you play and what you're playing against and who you're playing against and with. I will also be doing an Executron tutorial video at some point in the future because a lot of people have questions about that, and with the introduction of Mr. Pointy the Pencil, that's going to make that all the easier because he will have tooltips about all of these screens and what they do, and different things like that. And you can actually, it did mention this, if you hit this button right here or re-enable this right here, it'll bring back Mr. Pointy. So even if you leave for a long time and you've forgotten how to play and you'd like to refresh yourself, you can bring him back at any time. So that's cool. And yeah, I think I'll leave that there. Again, apologies for my absence. I had some personal stuff going on, but I've more or less sorted all of that out now, and hopefully I'll be back with slightly more regular videos. Unfortunately, I do not have the time to have a proper upload schedule of 3 or 4 videos a week, but maybe we'll try to go for 2. We'll see. Again, trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything, but if you have any questions, I've actually been getting a fair amount of comments lately compared to what I would normally get about the videos and about the game, both on Discord and in my YouTube comment section. So feel free to message me or leave a comment below this video asking any questions that you have, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can and answer them. Hopefully this video was helpful for some people. Yes, my waste tanks are almost full. I know. My trader will be here in a minute, and I will sell all the waste off and not have to worry about it. Isn't that fantastic? But yeah, anyway, so if you have any questions, just ask me somewhere, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. And yeah, hopefully this video was helpful to someone, to some people who are having some questions or wanted some updates about what was happening with the game. There are updates still being made, bug fixes and patches and things, and new ideas are always coming forth. So hopefully you will be seeing exciting content from Executive Assault 2 in the very near future. Until next time, goodbye.